This episode of Watch It Played is brought to you by Game On. Looking for great board games?
What about role-playing games?
And collectible card games.
Or miniatures!
Find all this and more, plus great prices and friendly service at Game On in Summerside, Prince Edward Island. If you've come to game on Prince Edward Island, then you've got to come to Game On. Welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. In this video, we are going to be taking our first turn of our Small World playthrough. And as promised, I have your two fierce competitors. Guys, I promised them fierce competitors. Okay. Scissors and a foam sword. It's the best we could do on short notice. Okay, so fierce competitor number one is my son, Luke Smith. And fierce competitor number two is Andrea Smith, my daughter. So Luke is going to go first. He's going to pick his army, and then he's going to start conquering this small world. All right, so to begin, Luke needs to pick his first army. So which army would you like, Luke?
The Swamp Orcs.
Okay. Now, because the Swamp Orcs are the first army, they're for free. So Luke doesn't have to spend any of his money. Now, every player starts with 5 victory coins. And you actually keep your victory coins hidden. So Luke, you can go ahead and flip those over. So during the game, as you collect new victory coins, you don't want other people to see what you've collected. And now, Luke, you get to collect your army tokens. So how many do you get?
4 plus 5.
Okay, and how many is that?
9.
That's right. I've already counted these out, so there's 9 army tokens for you to do your conquesting with.
And now that a race has been removed, we get to add a new one.
Okay, so we slide those ones up. And what will be the new race and ability that's revealed?
Dragon Master Trolls.
Excellent. All right, so Luke, it's time for you to start taking over this small world. Now, when you come onto the map, you have to come on an edge. So where would you like to enter here?
I'd like to go right here.
Okay, so 2 tokens to take over an empty space.
Then I'd like to go right here.
All right, and you've played 3 tokens. Because you need an extra token when there's an army there and we have a lost tribe. And because it's been defeated, this one is removed from the game.
And then I'm going to play some here.
2 to take over the swamp.
And then I'm going to play one here.
Now you actually need 3 to take over this spot. 2 for the location and 1 extra for the lost tribe. So because it's his last armies he's placing, he can use the reinforcement die and roll and hopefully... unfortunately, he did not get a tile side. If he'd gotten just 1, that would have been enough to take over the spot. But since he didn't, he has to take these back and place them somewhere else.
I'll put one here and here.
So now Luke can do his troop redeployment, which means if he wants, he can take any number of his tokens back in hand, as long as he leaves 1 behind in each location, and then place them however he wants. Now, do you want to change how your troops are right now?
No, I think they're quite fine.
They're quite fine. Okay, you like where they are right now?
Yeah.
Well, then we can move on and just score your victory points. Now, you get 1 victory coin for every location. And how many locations do you have right now?
3.
That's right. And because you're an orc, you get a bonus victory coin anytime you conquer a region that had someone there. And you did that with this one, didn't you?
Yep.
So you're going to get an extra victory coin for that, which gives you 4. And then because you're a swamp orc, you get a bonus victory coin for taking over a swamp location. So that means you're going to get a total of 5 extra victory coins. And so here you go, Luke, your 5 shiny new victory coin points. And you can add those to your current victory coin pile. And so that's the end of Luke's turn. And now Andrea gets to go.
So I'm going to be taking the Heroic Amazons. That's 5 plus 6, which equals 10.
Andrea, it's 11.
Oh.
11. You're going to be taking 11 army tokens. The schools, what are they teaching these days?
Take these and
And while you're taking those and learning to count to 11, I'm going to move these up to reveal the new possible army that our viewers may choose, which is going to be, the wealthy wizards. Okay. Doesn't sound too scary, actually. While Andrea is planning her attacks, let me explain to you what the Heroic Amazons do. The Amazons get an additional 4 tokens to attack with, but only to attack. So once Andrea's finished taking over her locations for the turn, she's then going to have to remove 4 tokens from the map. Then when her turn comes around again, she'll get these 4 back to attack again, and then she'll have to remove them. When you have the heroic ability, you get to collect these 2 tokens. And then after you're finished conquering, you can place these on any 2 locations you want, and they become immune to other enemy attacks.
Now it's time for my Amazons to work. So I'm going to put 2 here. 3 here, because there's a mountain. Another 2 here. 3 here. And since I conquered it, I get to take off the tribe token. Another 3 here, which I get to remove another token. And then just 2 here. So now that I'm done conquering, I have to take away 4 of my Amazons. Take 1 from here, 1 from here, another from here, and 1 from here. Send them back to the jungle. Since my Amazons are heroic, I get to place 2 hero tiles on the board on a place that I've conquered this turn. And those 2 places cannot be taken over. 1 here, another 1 here.
And so now, Andrea, you have a chance to redeploy your troops.
I don't want to.
Okay then. Well, that ends Andrea's turn.
And now it's time for me to get paid.
I think you mean to get your victory coins. Yeah, so how many victory coins are you getting, Andrea?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. All right, well, here's 6 for you. Add that to your pile, face down, and that's the end of your turn. So there you have it. 2 players have taken their turns for this round, but we have 1 player left. You guys. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to have to do is pick which army you want to start with. So what I'm going to do is just walk you through each of these armies and tell you what they can do. So the first army you have to choose from is the Flying Ratmen. Now, Ratmen don't have any special abilities. Their ability is that there's so many of them. You can see they have a very high starting army number of 8, which is going to be paired with 5. So Ratmen, there's just a bunch of them. But they are able to fly. Now what flying means is, when you're taking over locations on the map, normally you have to take over adjacent areas to locations you've already conquered. When you're flying, you can drop out of the sky, you can attack any location you want, whether it's adjacent or not. So just think about that. You've got Ratmen just raining down all over the map. Next up, we have our Commando Humans. The human ability is that you get 1 extra victory coin for every farmland area that you conquer. And the Commando ability allows you to conquer a location for 1 less army token than it would normally require. So if a location required 3 to conquer, you'd only have to spend 2 of your army tokens to conquer it. But you always have to spend at least a minimum of 1. Next up, we have Diplomat Skeletons. And as everyone knows, skeletons are famous for their diplomacy. And so what this allows you to do, skeletons, if you conquer 2 locations during your turn at least, that have armies on them, then you will be able to collect at the end of your turn an additional skeleton token for every 2 locations that you conquer that had armies on them. The Diplomat ability is quite interesting. For every player that you did not attack during your turn, you can pick 1 of them and they are not allowed to attack you. Next up, we have the Berserk Giants. When giants occupy a mountain region, then any other location adjacent to that mountain requires 1 less army token to conquer. So if a giant was occupying a mountain region next to an empty location, instead of costing 2 army tokens to take over that empty location, it would only cost 1. The Berserk ability allows you to use the reinforcement die before every single attack, not just at the very end during your last attack. So let's say it was the beginning of your turn, you were taking your first attack, you rolled the die, and you got this. 2 tokens. That means if the location you then wanted to take over required 3, you'd already have 2 of them on the die, so you'd only have to place 1 of your tokens on that area to take it over. Then you'd move on to your next attack, you'd roll the die first, and let's say you got nothing. Well, in that case, then when you go to take over the location, you don't have any bonus reinforcements from the die. If you choose the Dragon Master Trolls, you're going to get this bunch of tokens right here. These are troll lairs. For every region your trolls occupy, you're going to be able to place 1 of these troll lairs in that area. These lairs act as an extra token of defense when enemies try to conquer it. The troll lairs will stay in the region even after your trolls go into decline, but you have to remove the troll's lair if you abandon the region or when an enemy conquers it. Being a Dragon Master means the trolls get to use this dragon token here. the trolls can conquer a region using a single race token, regardless of the number of enemy tokens defending it. And so once they've conquered that location, they place their dragon in that area, and then no one else can attack that area for that turn. During each new turn, the player may then move the dragon to a different region they wish to conquer using the same method again. And last we have our wealthy wizards. So wizards are simple. There are different locations on the board that have this symbol on it, and if you're occupying one of those areas, you're going to get a bonus victory coin. And also at the end of your very first turn with the wealthy wizards, you're going to get to collect 7 victory coins, but only once and only during that first turn. So those are your choices for armies. Don't forget, the first army, if you choose it, is free, but then for each one you go down the line, you're going to have to pay an additional victory coin. So that would mean in order to get the wealthy wizards, you'd have to spend 5 victory coins. So in the comments section for this video, you have to do 2 things. You have to decide on which army you want, and then how you want to deploy them on the map. Different people can propose different strategies, but ultimately you guys need to try to settle on one. So vote up the ones you like the best, and once I've gotten a few selections to pick from, during the next video we're going to start by deploying your troops, and then we'll see how your fierce competitors respond. Hopefully not with scissors.